Why women ignore you when they're secretly in love. Stoic wisdom for emotional strength. You're sitting alone. The last message she sent was days ago. No reply, no explanation, just silence. You replay the last moment you were together. She smiled longer. She leaned in closer. She cared. You felt it. So why is she now ignoring you? Your mind starts racing. She's losing interest. I must have done something wrong. Maybe she never cared in the first place. But what if I told you? Her silence doesn't always mean rejection. Sometimes it's a test. Sometimes it's love wrapped in fear, doubt, and the desire for emotional safety. Today, through the lens of Stoicism, we will explore a paradox. Why women ignore you when they're deeply in love, and how the ancient wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus can guide you through this confusing storm of silence, emotion, and longing. Part 1. The Illusion of Rejection. Let's start with a harsh truth. Most of us are not trained to deal with emotional ambiguity. When we feel ignored, we assume the worst. Why? Because our ego links love with control, and silence feels like chaos. But what does Stoicism teach us? We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca. Stoics teach us to separate perception from truth. That her silence isn't necessarily a judgment of your worth. Could be her own emotional storm. One you're not even part of. She might be deeply in love, but love scares her. So, she distances herself not because she doesn't feel, but because she feels too much. Part 2. Love can trigger fear. Here's a truth society rarely tells men. Love is vulnerability. For many women, love awakens their deepest fears. Fear of being hurt. Fear of losing themselves. Fear of not being enough. When a woman truly loves, it's not always soft and expressive. Sometimes it's chaotic, overwhelming, and yes, even silent. She may pull away, not to punish you, but to protect a part of herself she's still learning to trust. Part 3. The Stoic Approach to Emotional Chaos. So how should you respond? With clarity, with strength, with inner calm. It's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Epictetus. Instead of spiraling into self-doubt or chasing after her attention, embrace this moment as a test of your emotional discipline. The Stoic man doesn't beg for love. He radiates it from within. He doesn't crumble when he's ignored. He observes, reflects, and responds with dignity. She may be testing your consistency, your emotional strength, or even just your patience. Let her. You have nothing to prove, only truth to live. Part 4. Understanding her emotional logic. Let's go deeper. Women operate differently in love. They often seek emotional safety before consistency. And sometimes, when the emotions get too deep, she may pull away to process her feelings. She's thinking, can I trust him with my heart? Will he leave like the others? Is this too good to be true? And how you handle that silence tells her everything. A Stoic man doesn't fill the gap with insecurity. He fills it with presence. He doesn't bombard her with messages. He gives her space and watches how she uses it. Part 5. You are not her savior. Here's where most men fail. They try to fix her emotions. They want to be her hero, her solution, her everything. But that's ego, not love. A wise man is content with himself. Marcus Aurelius. You are not her savior. You are her mirror. When she goes silent, it's not your job to drag her back. It's your duty to remain grounded, even when her emotions sway like a storm. Because the man who doesn't chase, but remains present, becomes magnetic. Part 6. Signs she's still deeply in love, even when she's quiet. So how do you know she still cares? Watch closely. 1. She still watches your stories, but says nothing. 2. She texts you hey after days of silence. 3. She replies slowly but always replies. 4. Her eyes light up when she sees you even briefly. 5. She still asks about things you care about, even subtly. 6. She listens more than she speaks. 7. She tries to make you jealous just to see how you react. These aren't random. They are emotional smoke signals. They say, I'm scared, but I care. Part 7. The masculine frame of stillness. Now listen carefully. The modern world is chaotic. Women are overwhelmed with choices, noise, confusion. What they seek is a man who doesn't waver. Still, stoic, calm, like the eye of the storm. When she's spinning emotionally, don't spin with her. Breathe. Stay grounded. Let her feel your peace. Because nothing is more attractive than a man who can handle her silence without losing himself. Part 8. When to walk away. But here's the most powerful lesson. Not all silence is love. Some women ignore you because they're using you. Because they crave validation but not connection. Because they're playing games. Stoicism teaches us to discern. Ask yourself, does her silence come with kindness or cruelty? Is she confused or manipulative? Is this silence temporary or consistent? If it's manipulation, walk away. If it's confusion, give her space. If it's a test, pass it with grace. Part 9. Rebuilding power in solitude. Now let's turn inward. This moment of silence is your invitation to build, to rise, to sharpen your edge. Use this time to improve your body, elevate your mind, focus on your craft, reconnect with your values. Because when she returns, and she often will, she'll meet a man who evolved in her absence. And if she doesn't, you'll still be whole. He who is brave is free. Seneca. Part 10. Final words. Let her feel your absence. So here's the final Stoic truth. Sometimes, silence is her way of checking if your love depends on her presence. Let her feel your absence. Let her miss your peace. Let your stillness echo louder than any desperate text ever could. If she truly loves you, she will return. And if not, you will have remained true to yourself. And that, my friend, is love at its highest form. Grounded, unshaken, free. The Stoic man doesn't beg. He doesn't chase. He understands. Real love doesn't require noise. It only asks for presence. And sometimes, presence means silence.